is very seldom that mere ordinary people like John and Jane secure ancestral halls for the summer. John is Jane's husband, a physician. He is practical in the extreme. He has no patience with faith. He scoffs openly at any talk of things not to be seen and felt and put down in figures.
Did you take your tonic?
Yes, John. I do not understand why we must stay here for the summer.
As I told you, the worst thing you could do is think of your condition. You need fresh air and exercise.
I admit that this house is beautiful, and I find the garden splendid.
I must show you the room you can stay.
Jane has a sickness, not one of physical form. Jane has a nervous condition. She gets unreasonably angry with John, and she neglects proper self-control. The room John introduced her to is decorated with ugly yellow wallpaper, with sprawling flamboyant patterns that Jane found revolting.
Unclean yellow, strangely faded by the slow turning sunlight. There comes John. I must put this away. He hates to have me write a word.
Jane's journal is a secret that she holds. John despises to see her having written down her feelings.
We have been here for 2 weeks. John does not know how much I really suffer. He knows that there is no reason to suffer, and that satisfies him.
I believe this place has been doing you well, my dear.
I really would love to leave this room and live in one of the rooms downstairs. I want a room that has windows so that I can see the garden.
You blessed Ruth. This room is perfect, airy and comfortable. It is exactly what you need to recover.
I think sometimes that if I were only well enough to write a little, it would relieve me the press of ideas and rest me. But I find I get pretty tired when I try. I wish I could get well faster.
As Jane tried to rest, she caught a glimpse of something moving in the wallpaper. She pushed it up as a figment of her imagination. But perhaps it is more. As she rests, the wallpaper becomes a part of her dreams. The wallpaper ebbs and flows into a dance that is quite peculiar. As time goes on, Jane becomes quite fond of the wallpaper.
I don't know why I should write this. I don't want to. I don't feel able, and I know John would think it absurd, but I must say what I feel and think in some way. It is a relief. Half the time now I am awfully lazy and lie down ever so much. Dear John, he loves me ever so dearly and hates to have me sick.
Jane! You are my darling. You must take care of yourself. For my sake, understand that you are the only one who can help yourself out of this. You must use your will and not let your fancies run away with you.
The fancies, whatever they may be, became apparent not to John, but Jane. When night approached, Jane couldn't help but notice the wallpaper dance once again. This time, she noticed a small woman tearing through the paper. Jane, despite her fear of this woman, did not want John to take the figure from her.
What is it, my darling?
John, I really am not gaining here. I wish you would take me away from this room in this house.
Our lease will be up in 3 weeks. I don't see how I could get out of it before that. If you were in danger, I could. And I really would. But you really are doing better, my dear. I am a doctor and I know. You have been eating better and your flesh has gained color.
I don't weigh a bit more. It is much worse when you are away. You are away
Daylights arose and the wallpaper became increasingly hideous.
The pattern is torturing. You think you have mastered it, but just as you go underway in following, it turns a back somersault. And there you are. It slaps you across the face, knocks you down, and tramples upon you. It is like a bad dream. By moonlight, the woman in the pattern dances and flourishes. By daylight, she is subdued, quiet. I fancy it is the pattern that silences her. At times, I catch John looking at the paper. He must see the woman as I do. His lack of acknowledgement puzzles me. The paper stains everywhere it touches. There are yellow smooches all over my clothes. Do it not sound innocent?
Time went on, and her sickness worsened. She found a love for the wallpaper and the woman that lived inside it. It was nearing the time that John and Jane must go back home. But Jane no longer wanted to leave.
I am doing much better. I no longer need much sleep at night. I find watching the paper and its development much more interesting. There is a streak of yellow that runs all over the room that goes behind every piece of furniture. Except the bed. It is a long, straight smooch that runs everywhere. I wonder who had done it. Round and round and round and round and round. It makes me dizzy. I really have discovered something at last. The woman in the wallpaper really is real. I've seen her in all of my windows. I must read her from the lines of the paper. Oh, I hear John coming. Dear John.
It is the day that John and Jane must depart back home. John had a suspicion that Jane was worsening, but he did not know how badly it truly was. Jane ripped the wallpaper to pieces. She wanted to free the poor woman she believed lived inside. A victim of insanity, poor Jane crawled and creeped within the room, but she felt purely euphoric.
What is the matter? For God's sake, what are you doing?
I've got